Imagine diving into the midnight blue abyss and stumbling upon a forest of 50-ton stone pillars, hanging motionless in the dark. They don't move, they don't breathe, and they look like ancient monuments waiting for a ritual. You haven't found a graveyard, you've just walked into a bedroom. This is how the most feared predator on Earth takes a nap. And it's only the least terrifying thing about them. These drifting monoliths are Physeter macrocephalus, the sperm whale. While they appear like peaceful suspended statues in their brief 10-minute slumbers, they are actually the undisputed masters of the deep ocean. To be precise, they are not the largest animals to ever roam the sea. That honor belongs to the blue whale. But there is a massive distinction between sheer physical dimensions and being the most feared inhabitant of the water. Even the orca, often celebrated as the wolf of the ocean, will go to extreme lengths to avoid a direct confrontation with a mature bull sperm whale. They are fundamentally outclassed in every category: tactical intelligence, raw power, and a suite of biological weaponry that no other organism on our planet can replicate. To truly appreciate the dominance of this predator, one must first grasp the staggering scale of its existence. A mature male can reach 60 feet in length and exceed 50 tons in mass. To visualize this, imagine a parking lot crowded with 30 modern automobiles. A single sperm whale would still outweigh every single one of them combined. Their heart is the size of a small car, and their tongue alone weighs more than a full-grown elephant. Yet their most impressive trait isn't their muscle, it's their mind. They house the largest brain of any organism to ever exist in the history of the world. This massive neural center is roughly 5 times the size of a human brain and contains complex structures associated with high-level emotional processing and social communication. While humanity does not yet fully comprehend how they utilize all that cognitive power, it is certain they aren't just drifting aimlessly through the currents. They are active, tactical thinkers, capable of hitting speeds near 20 miles per hour when they strike. They generate a terrifying amount of momentum for an animal that weighs as much as 10 elephants. The sperm whale is perhaps the most successful global voyager in history. They claim no single home because they occupy every major ocean where the water is deep enough to mask their presence. From the ice-choked, frigid waters of the Antarctic to the sweltering tropical currents of the equator, they are the ocean's one constant apex force. This incredible adaptability allows them to dominate the midnight zone, a realm where no sunlight ever reaches and the temperature hovers just above freezing. While most marine mammals are tethered to the sunlit surface to maintain their body temperature and oxygen levels, the sperm whale routinely descends over 3,000 feet. Some recorded dives have reached staggering depths of nearly 2 miles, stretching into the Hadal zone where the environment is more alien than the surface of the moon. At those depths, the water pressure exceeds 3,000 pounds per square inch, a force that would crush a nuclear submarine. For almost anything else on Earth, this environment means instant death. Even the mighty blue whale cannot safely survive much deeper than 1,600 feet before the external weight becomes lethal. To survive the crushing abyss, the sperm whale essentially bypasses the standard laws of mammalian biology. While other air-breathing mammals are limited by fragile, rigid lungs, the sperm whale's skeletal structure possesses incredible pliability. Their ribcage is designed to fold inward under pressure rather than fighting it, allowing their lungs to collapse completely to prevent internal rupturing and the painful bends caused by nitrogen absorption. Furthermore, they don't store their primary oxygen supply in their lungs. Down in the abyss, air is a liability that creates buoyancy and risk. Instead, they saturate their blood and muscles with a specialized protein called myoglobin. This protein binds to oxygen with a death grip, storing it directly in the tissue. Their blood volume is also significantly higher than other mammals, acting as a massive internal oxygen tank. This physiological cheat code allows them to effectively deactivate their non-essential respiratory functions and enter a low-power mode for over 90 minutes. During these deep-sea forays, their heart rate slows to a mere few beats per minute, conserving every drop of energy for the hunt. In the eternal darkness of the deep, vision is obsolete to compensate. The sperm whale evolved the most sophisticated sonar system on the planet. Their massive block-shaped heads contain the spermaceti organ, a cavity filled with thousands of gallons of high-grade waxy oil. Historically, this oil was so prized by humans for its clean burning properties that it fueled the global whaling industry and inspired the legendary tale of Moby Dick. However, for the whale, this organ serves a much more lethal purpose. It is an acoustic lens. By forcing air through phonic lips near their blowhole, they produce rhythmic clicks that are focused through the oil and projected into the water. These sounds can reach 230 decibels, louder than a jet engine at takeoff, and intense enough to theoretically vibrate a human body to death. This sonar acts as an acoustic searchlight, providing a 3D, high-definition map of the environment that renders the camouflage of a giant squid entirely useless. Some marine biologists even believe the whales use these concentrated sound pulses as a biological railgun, flash-banging their prey with a wall of acoustic energy to stun or paralyze them before the killing blow is delivered. The primary prey of the sperm whale, the giant and colossal squids, are legitimate horrors of the deep, armed with rotating bone hooks, razor-sharp beaks, and serrated suction cups. These cephalopods are among the most dangerous invertebrates on the planet. We know these battles are legendary, not because humans have seen them, as they occur in a pitch-black void miles below the surface, but because the whales carry the physical receipts. Nearly every mature bull sperm whale is covered in a map of horrific scars. They bear giant circular welts on their heads and deep gashes along their flanks, carved out by the tentacles of monsters fighting for their lives. Inside the stomachs of these whales, scientists have discovered biological graveyards. One individual was found to have over 18,000 indigestible squid beaks in its gut. Occasionally, the whale's digestive system reacts to these sharp beaks by producing ambergris, a waxy, incredibly valuable substance that coats the irritants. This floating gold has been used for centuries in the finest perfumes, a strange luxury born from a violent deep-sea struggle. Despite the ferocity of the kraken, it is ultimately just a calorie-dense snack for a mammal that decided 20 million years ago that the dark wasn't something to be afraid of. Their dominance is not just a result of size, but of a complex social intelligence. Sperm whales live in multi-generational clans that share unique codas, rhythmic clicking patterns that act like cultural dialects or family names. While the bulls are solitary roamers of the deep, the females and juveniles are highly coordinated. If a pod is threatened by a pack of orcas, the adults perform the Marguerite formation. They arrange themselves in a giant circle, pointing their massive, vulnerable heads toward the center and their powerful muscular flukes outward. The calves are tucked safely in the middle, protected by a wall of 40-ton units. A single flick of a sperm whale's tail carries enough force to shatter the ribs of an orca or smash a wooden whaling boat to splinters. Even the wolves of the sea are not foolish enough to challenge this fortress. This long-standing reign has left an evolutionary memory in the DNA of every other oceanic species. Researchers have observed that other highly intelligent predators, such as beaked whales, will perform silent dives, specifically avoiding the frequency ranges where sperm whales hunt, even orcas. Upon hearing the distinct rhythmic clicking of a bull sperm whale, have been known to fall completely silent, stopping their own vocalizations to avoid being detected. Across the globe, the presence of a sperm whale creates what scientists call an acoustic shadow. When the clicks of a hunting titan begin, the rest of the ocean gets very, very quiet. It is a silence born out of a fundamental need for survival. Beyond their role as hunters, sperm whales are essential guardians of the Earth's climate. Through a process known as the whale pump, they feed in the nutrient-rich depths and return to the surface to breathe and release waste. This waste is rich in iron and nitrogen, which fertilizes phytoplankton, the microscopic plants that produce half of the world's oxygen and absorb massive amounts of carbon dioxide. By moving nutrients from the abyss to the surface, a single sperm whale helps sequester tons of carbon every year, making them one of our greatest natural allies in the fight against climate change. For 20 million years, the sperm whale has been the primary protagonist of the deep sea. They have survived the rise and fall of countless species, outlasting even their own prehistoric ancestors like the terrifying Leviathan. They have turned the most hostile, lightless environment on our planet into their own private, guarded pantry. They are the only creatures in the darkness that never have to hide. They are the keepers of the deep sea secrets, the masters of sound, and the titans of the void. So when you see them floating vertically in the moonlight, looking like nothing more than unmoving stones, remember that they aren't always this peaceful. For everything else beneath the waves, the nightmare is very real. Very loud, and perpetually hungry. The sperm whale doesn't just live in the ocean. It owns the darkness within it,